Hi, my name is Dr. Sam Deval, and I am a lecturer in geotechnical engineering at City University of London. This is a short talk to talk about what civil engineering is, why you might choose it, and what you might expect to do on a civil engineering course at university. What is civil engineering? Well, civil engineering is a professional engineering discipline that deals with the design, construction, and maintenance of the built environment. These structures include roads, canals, dams, airports, sewage systems, schools, hospitals, and shopping malls. It also includes bridges, just like this one. This is the Meerdal Viaduct. It is 343 metres high. You could fit the Eiffel Tower underneath its main pier. It definitely holds its head high up in the clouds. This is a cabled stayed bridge that is 2,460 metres long. As well as building awesome things, civil engineers aim to build for a better society. Take this artist's impression of the upgrade to Bank Tube Station. What do you notice about the people using it? What about this individual and this one? That's right, they're both using objects that have wheels on them. So currently, because our underground system was built 150 years ago, there are a lot of steps that one would need to use in order to access it. Well, now we want the tube to be more accessible to more people, and that is why TfL are embarking on a massive project to make more of their stations step free so that more people can use it independently. Now, if you can imagine, places like Spain and Australia have relatively new metro systems. Therefore, they can install these kind of glass boxes at street level that take you straight onto the platform. But as I said, because our metro system is over 150 years old, it's more susceptible to damage. And therefore, civil engineers need to come up with more complex solutions in order to upgrade our tube system, which for me as a geotechnical engineer makes it very interesting. As well as building awesome things and aiming to build for a better society, civil engineers are going to be needed in the future. Civil engineering careers are predicted to grow at a rate of 11% more than the national average. They'll be needed to design infrastructure for the rising population, and they'll be required to keep the aging infrastructure working, growing, and sustainable. Take these two images. The one on the left is Westminster Station. This is while it's being built. This was a massive undertaking, and if you ever go there, they've left all of the exposed surfaces of the concrete. So as you're progressing down through the platform, you can see the civil engineering that was undertaken. Take the image on the right. That is Bedsted. Bedsted is Britain's largest and first green eco community, and civil engineers played a huge part in getting this up and running. So I'd say that civil engineering salaries are not too shabby. Consulting civil engineers' salaries usually start around £23,500 a year, rising to £26,500 within 2 years' worth of experience. The average basic salary for members of the Institution of Civil Engineers is almost £50,000, but of course directors of companies can make upwards of £100,000 a year. There are lots of opportunities for transferable skills and to work in developing countries. Lots of the engineers that are working in Africa right now are British trained, and that also goes for the Middle East, for example, in UAE. Also, there are lots of opportunities to work in lots of different environments. Take the image here. This is an offshore wind farm. Civil engineers would have gone about doing the design to make sure that these structures are going to last their design life. Talking about working in different environments, civil engineering gives you the chance to be clean and classy or get your hands dirty. If you want to stay clean and classy, sure, you can be a design engineer or eventually a principal engineer working in a design office. However, if you want to be out in the field or getting your hands dirty, sure, you can be a field supervisor over crews of engineers or as a site engineer or a surveyor. So in summary, why choose civil engineering? Well, we design awesome and useful things for society. We are going to be needed in the future, and our salaries are good to great. There are great career prospects. You're more likely to find a job in your chosen career studying civil engineering. There are lots of transferable skills and lots of opportunities to travel. How do you get started? How do you become a civil engineer? Well, you start where you are now at college doing your BTECs or your A-levels, and then you'll progress to a university where you'll study an accredited course. Then this might be a bachelor's degree, this is a 3-year course, or a master's degree, that's an MEng course. If you do the bachelor's course, you'll need to supplement that with an accredited postgraduate degree. Once you've completed this area of study, you'll get a job in industry where you'll work under a training agreement for a couple of years, and then you'll progress to a chartered engineer. It's important that when you're choosing your course that it's an accredited course. At City, our courses are accredited by the Joint Board of Moderators, which means that it's accredited by the Institution of Civil Engineers and these other bodies to make sure that we're teaching you exactly the right thing to know that you'll be successful in your career. City is ideally placed because the iStructE is just around the corner from our sports centre, and the ICE is just a little way down the road at Westminster. How might a typical engineering course be structured? Well, at City we have a common first year where all the engineering disciplines study the same thing, with the exception of our design modules. What does that mean? Well, that means that after your first year, if you come to us on, for example, the aeronautical route, and you decide that it isn't quite for you, and you might want to swap to the mechanical engineering route, you can after your first year, no questions asked. We also run a bifurcated course, which means that if you come to us on the bachelor engineering course, and after your first 2 years you're doing sufficiently well, then you can decide to swap up to our MEng program. And of course the opposite is true. If you come to us on an MEng program and you decide that it's not quite for you and you wish to exit with a BEng degree and then maybe follow that up with a MSc, you can do that as well. Often universities will offer you the chance for a placement or an internship, and at City, again, this is very flexible. You can choose to do that placement year between your 3rd and 4th year, or you may choose to do that between your 2nd and 3rd year. If you don't quite meet the requirements to come to our first year, we run a very successful foundation course, which will give you the tools you need to be successful in our course. These are often used by students who have non-standard qualifications or where they've got sufficient experience but not quite the academic grades to get into our first year. When choosing your engineering course, you might want to think about whether it's better to specialise earlier or later. At City, we have a general first year, and that's following the advice from the Engineering Council. And that's because the engineering principles are the same, whether that's a structural element supporting the walls of the heart or the deck of a bridge. Take this bridge, for example. Okay, you need to understand the civil engineering aspects to support the bridge, but also it will be a smart structure. The electronic items, maybe fibre optics, will be telling us something that will help us understand how better to maintain this bridge. And if you have a broad base of engineering principles, then you will understand those electronic conversations with other engineers. Otherwise, you're just left out. This makes you a more adaptable and more resilient type of learner and engineer in your career. So this is a taster of the civil engineering program. What you can see in front of you is a grid of all the modules that you'd study on the civil engineering program, broken down in each year. The grey boxes show all the modules that are common to all the engineering disciplines. So as you move through the years, you can see it gets a bit more colourful as you move through the course until you become completely specialised in your 3rd and 4th year. Note that design is integral to any engineering course, and that's why I get special treatment on the bottom. You can see that as you go through the course, by the time you get to your 4th year, you'll do a big design project. And also you'll be undertaking individual research projects in your 3rd and 4th year. I teach on the geology and soil mechanics module in your 2nd year. Industry collaborations are important on any engineering course. It ensures what you are studying at university is informed by the profession you're going to be working in. At City, our industry engagement was said to be almost unique in the UK by the Joint Board of Moderators for our civil engineering course. This gives you just a glimpse of some of the companies our students either go to work for on their placement years, who come in to contribute to our design projects, or are in partnership on some of our research projects. Speaking of placements, here are 5 examples of engineering students and the companies they went and did their placements on from City University of London. So I suppose the next question is, how do I get started? What can I do to help my application? Well, I would suggest that you check out institution websites and look at events which you can participate in. Make visits around your local neighbourhood, attend open or offer days, and talk to staff about whether their institution is the right one for you. Shown for you here are the typical entry qualifications you'll need to study engineering at City University of London. You can see in A-level qualifications, you'll need a minimum of a grade B in mathematics. If you're studying the IB, you need 32 points minimum, including high level mathematics or high level physics, biology or chemistry at grade 5 with a standard level mathematics grade 7. You can do a BTEC, but this must be one of the engineering BTECs that first started teaching in September 2016, and you'll need a minimum of a grade D in units 1, 7 and 8. However, if you don't meet any of these qualifications, please consider the foundation route. We regularly see foundation students graduate with a first class honours from our BEng and MEng degrees from this foundation programme. Thank you for listening to this video. I hope it's been of some use to you. If you have any specific questions, please get in touch. Thank you.